Hey, we got Memories coming in on YouTube. Says we are the Mad Poet Society. Yes, we are indeed. Thanks for being here. Memories, great to see you. And we got American Hero 03 just followed on Kick. Thanks for the new follow. Almost to 100 followers. We might pass that up today. That would be awesome. And thank you very much for being here. If any of my subscribers are watching, I put new subscriber-only emotes up on Kick, which is also pretty cool. And we got Montez Cooper Gaming says, what's up? What's up with you? Hey, and also thank you for just throwing on a new follow there as well. I've been totally digging this Kick thing. It took me, I think, over 2 years to get 100 followers on Twitch. I'm still only like 160. I've been on Kick for like a month, maybe 5 weeks, and I've already got almost 100 followers. It's been totally rad. Completely loving it. And wherever you're tuning in from, thank you very much for being here. For those of you who may not be familiar with what we do, I am the Mad Poet. You are an audience. We are the Mad Poet Society. Right now, we are playing my 65th album titled Incomprehensible Isolation. When we get done with this one, I'm very excited. We're going to switch over and we're going to play Roswell, my 47th album. I have not played that live in like a year and a half. And I'm totally stoked for it because it's this totally awesome album. It's named after Roswell, New Mexico. It's my 47th album, but I had some troubles with the synths I was using. So I went in, worked on that for a couple hours last night, got it all set up. Totally loving it. Montez Cooper Gaming just started on Kick. Very cool. I hope you enjoy it. And Tavian20, what's up? What's up with you? You know, we're just rocking out here, doing Mad Poet stuff here at the Mad Poet Society. And that's what's going down in Groovetown. I hope everyone's having a good time with it. So let's keep on playing here. The second song on this album. Oh, and Tavian20 just followed. Thank you very much. Awesome sauce. Cool. All right, let's play this next song. This is called A Silent Prophet. And I'm kind of experimenting here. I got the, if we end up liking this, let me know if you have any thoughts on it. I can have the chat show up just in between songs. I don't really like having a lot of stuff on screen while I'm doing the performance part, but I thought this might be kind of cool. So, we'll see what happens with that. If we like that, I'll end up automating it, so it'll just kind of come on its own, just in between songs. But, Memories from YouTube says, sick riff and sound on this one. Yeah, I agree. And that last song and this next song mostly, this was the album for sure that made me realize I needed to change my production. Because I think a significant part of what gives that kind of signature sound to what you're hearing in that song is the strings. And what I realized was that I wasn't hearing the strings, kind of the nuances within the strings, because it was being covered up with the production. There wasn't enough clarity. And that's why it took so long on this particular album, 2 1/3 years to get this thing done, is because I needed that to work correctly. And I'm really glad that I did. And also Memories asks Roswell and puts up the alien emote. And yes, Roswell is a reference to the 1947 Roswell, New Mexico crash, and that's why I use that on my 47th album, is to recognize that. And there's some very fun song titles there. The very last song I'm going to play today has got a great story behind it, and how that came to be. I'll wait till I get to that to do it. But this next song also kind of very cool. How this one, like I said, this song really was responsible for making me realize that. Excellent. I'm glad you like that. I will probably start automating this in the near future. Thank you. So this next song is called A Fistful of Light. And when I composed this song, I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought it was just going to be one of those, this is a song on the album. This has probably become my #1 favorite of all of my personal songs. Soy Kyokin, I very likely said your username incorrectly. Thank you for being here, throwing the emotes up on screen, loving it. So I'd be out on my run, and I was listening to this music, and I was like, I'm not hearing these strings, and I really liked what the strings were doing. So I spent all this time working on the composition of this, or the production on this, and I really enjoy kind of assessing my mixes while I'm exercising, while I'm rope jumping, running, out for a walk, whatever. So over and over I would run, and I started to realize that this song, this is what it feels like when I'm on a run. It is, if someone says, Randy, why do you love running so much? I'd be like, listen to A Fistful of Light off of Incomprehensible Isolation, and if that doesn't make sense to you, I got nothing else, because this is exactly how it feels to be on a run. And there's a part in here about 10 minutes in. The song's about, I think it's about 11 and a half minutes, and just about like 9 and a half, 10 minutes in, there's a place where I do this little, and that part of the song, that is what it feels like when you're out running through the desert and you get to the top of a hill and the desert is just open before you, and the shadows are lengthening off in the distance, and the sun is going down, and the clouds are turning purple and orange. Oh, it's freaking amazing. And in fact, there was one time I was out on this run. It would have been a 6-mile run. I got to my turnaround point, and I'm like, okay, if I turn around now, I'm not going to make it back to the top of that hill. This song was playing. I'm not going to make it back to that hill at the right time, but if I keep going, I might make it up to the top of that hill. And I nailed it. Just as I'm getting over that hill, that part of the song hit. Oh, it was freaking amazing. So I ended up turning into a 7-mile run. Awesome. Loved it. And so, because of all of that, this song ended up being subtitled The Run. This is A Fistful of Light. Yeah, I really, really like that freaking song. That is good stuff. We got some new followers here on Kick. We got Jevin the Horse. I may have again mispronounced that. But Jevin the Horse, welcome to the Mad Poet Society. And Soy Kyokin. Soy Kyokin, right after the song started up, said, oh, that's cool. So I'm thinking that you're liking what we're doing here. Memories, thank you for the compliment on the sound on that. Like I said, I worked really hard to get the production where we were pleased with it. And I need to recognize a couple of people in this. My friend Jake was absolutely instrumental in helping me get the correct bass sound. It was massive what he did. And then my friend Ray, he has just this great set of ears. And I brought him in toward the end, and he would like kind of find these little nitpicky things that I just didn't hear because I don't have this great ear like he has. And I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, let's try this. And I'd be like, yeah, that's better. And it really, Ray and Jake had so much to do with where my sound went to. I see we got my girl, Miss Susan C. Smith, coming in from YouTube. Thank you very much for being here, Susan. Awesome. Hope you are enjoying the show. And of course, wherever you are tuning in from, I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. This is good stuff. You know, I've never made any real big secret about the fact that I'm not a religious person. Don't believe in God. Don't believe in the devil, heaven or hell, or any of that. And though I don't believe in the devil, I want you to know the devil believes in you. And yes, we are live, Morphine King. You can know that is I just acted in the capacity of a total dork and let the batteries run on my wireless system. We only had a few measures left on that song. Let me switch these out. That's live right there. I was watching my little battery gauge going down, and I'm like, oh, am I gonna make it? Should have changed these out. Nope, didn't make it. Okay. And I'm also noticing, oh, that is also a dead set of batteries. That's uncool. Put those over here. These ones should be good. No. Oh, Do It Pruitt! Hitting us with the custom emotes from Livespace. What is going on? Oh. The good batteries still do have to be put in the right direction. So if you are new to the Mad Poet Society, which some of you are, this is very normal for me. I am the biggest airhead and the biggest dork possibly on the live streaming portion of the internet. Morphine King, dude, oh my god, this is awesome. Love the lighting. Don't know how you do it, but it's amazing. Amazing setup, good music, everything. Thank you very much. And how I do it is I've been streaming. I've only been on Kick for about a month, maybe 5 weeks, and I'm loving Kick. But I have been streaming overall for a little over 3 years. And when I started out, I just had, I think I had 4 lights back on the floor, and I learned to program just a little bit for the lights. And all of the lights are programmed in advance. The camera changes are programmed in advance. I started with just one camera, and I just slowly grew and grew, and just kind of put it in place like that. And it's been a really fun growth period for me doing all of this. I just really enjoy it. And so thank you very much for being here. I stream out to 15 different websites because I just started on Kick, but it is my fastest growing site as far as followers and subscribers and all of that. And so I really hope that anyone watching who enjoys the show will come back and watch again. I stream most days. I'm going to try to do 2 streams today. My plan is I'm going to do this stream. I'm going to play this album, and then I want to switch over and play my 47th album, Roswell. Then I'm going to go for a run, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to load up 2 more albums, and I'm going to do it again. I've never done 2 streams. Well, I have done 2 streams in a day before, but never 2 music streams. I've done like a kitchen stream, then a music stream, or an exercise stream, then a music stream, but I'm just kind of feeling it today. So we also got Do It Pruitt over on Kick. Morphine King says, this is awesome. Such a good effort on your stream. People really appreciate it. Yeah, and it's interesting because my growth on other websites just is very small, but Kick has been freaking awesome. Cool. Oh, we got a new follower on Livespace, Grimwolf. Only person who is live. That's enough reason right there to watch me because I'm the only person live on that platform. For those who may not be familiar, Livespace is a beta program for a brand new streaming platform that I think is going to be awesome, and there's some really cool people on it. The community's been great. I've interacted a lot with the staff. Do It Pruitt and I, Do It is watching on both Livespace and Kick. We were basically the original. Oh, interesting. I tried to turn I don't know why this does this. Oh, because I'm on the wrong camera. Gotcha. Okay, there's my chat showing up. We were kind of the original beta testers on there, and we've interacted a lot with the staff, and they've all been great. The community's awesome. The Discord is awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that. I know they're getting close to their public launch, and I think it's going to be great. So I'm totally digging that. And so thank you for following Grimwolf on Livespace, and also Morphine King is just followed on Kick, and we're getting really close. I think that puts me at 95 followers on Kick as of today. I might be a little off on that number. We're close to 100. So I am totally digging all of that. Okay, I've got my batteries up and running, and like I said, I'm also noticing that my wireless is working better. I had all these, my wireless had been cutting out, and it sucked. And I just today realized that there are different channels on my wireless. So I switched to a different channel, and my signal has been awesome. And so I'm just like totally digging this. And we got Skywalker 0G218. Welcome to the Mad Poet Society. Thank you for following on Kick. I think that puts us up to 96. Awesome. Okay, let's see if I've got things in order here. Fairly sure I do. Get myself centered here, center my chi energy, and align my chakras, and then I will become almost invisible. Alrighty then. So this next song, as my regulars know, I dedicate a song to someone on every album I do. I have released a total of 66 albums. This is my 65th. And generally speaking, my song titles are completely meaningless. A lot of people kind of want there to be some meaning behind what I do, but there really isn't. This one, I wouldn't say there's any meaning behind this, but there is a little bit of a story behind this particular title. This song is dedicated to my friend Clarissa, who I've known for many, many years. Her daughter's actually one of my moderators on Twitch, which, I mean, I don't know if anyone's even watching on Twitch right now, but, and I don't just mean me, I mean like on any channel. But I've got this kind of coffee table book of paintings by one of my favorite artists, Michael Whelan. And Michael did a lot of like fantasy and horror novel covers back in the 80s and 90s was kind of his big point. And it's a great form of art. So he put out this basically it's a coffee table size book, but you can tear the pages out and put them as posters. And it's called Something in My Eye. And on the cover photo, the cover painting that he did is the Something in My Eye painting. And it's got this kind of punk rock looking dude, and he's digging in his eye like he's got something in there. And he's pushed his finger so far in that his right eyeball is over in the left, so both eyeballs are in one socket and his finger's sticking out. And it's just this totally awesome thing. Clarissa always really, really liked this book of Michael Whelan paintings. She would check it out every time we were together. She was over at my house. And so, in honor of Michael Whelan and Clarissa, this song is titled Something in My Eye. I'm so glad I figured out changing the channel on my wireless. That was such an easy. I was actually thinking like, because I've had this wireless for a long time, and I've used it in a bunch of in-person shows. I don't even know how many streams I've done with it, and it's a really good unit. And I was thinking, oh man, I'm gonna have to replace this transmitter. That's probably like $200. I'm so glad I just thought, hey, what if I use a different channel? That's working so awesome. Cool. Digging it. All right, so one of the things about this album that is interesting from my perspective is because it went together over so much longer a time frame than most of my albums. This is my second longest album that as far as time that I spent on it. My very first album, from the time I wrote the first riff to the time we published, was 14 years, but that was back when I was, learning, what a guitar was. And then this one, this was 2 1/3 years. I think I spent about 1.5 years on Infinity Minus One, my second album. And then, I've got a whole period in there for 11 months in 2018, 2019, I put out an album a week. So I ended up putting out 49 albums in 11 months, which was just a really crazy time for composition. And I wasn't doing any performances with those. And really got probably only more than half my albums I've never been performed live, which is kind of cool. And then I've got one album that I have performed live that I've never put out, which is also cool. But because this one did take so long, I would get different ideas as time went along. There's a streamer on Twitch who goes by the Drum Daddy. He's a very cool guy. He also often wears a vest, sunglasses, and a tie. And obviously, drummer. Well, the first time I was watching him, he was actually going by Renegade Rock at the time. And he suggested that I check out this other streamer called The Reluctant Hermit. And as soon as he said that, I was just like, oh, dude, that is going to be a song title, The Reluctant Hermit. And I did go check out The Reluctant Hermit. I was thinking that he was going to be a music streamer. He's really vivacious guy. He's much more video game oriented, very cool. If you really like high energy type stuff, The Reluctant Hermit is someone great to check out on Twitch. But I went and checked it out, and I was just like, but this title is so cool for a song. And this song, I think it was originally supposed to be called Unto the High Hills. And I decided to change this one to The Reluctant Hermit. Jabeth, I don't know if you're out there watching. Sebastian, I don't know if you're out there watching. This is going out to you guys. In F Phrygian, this is The Reluctant Hermit. Pius7, I agree with what you're saying there. Pius is pointing out that instrumental music is an acquired taste and it would probably be easier to grow if I did singing. And that is completely true. I full on agree. And I have been working very diligently on my singing. I am currently composing 2 albums. One is called The Thief of Time and the other is called Tokyo Sunrise. Tokyo is Tokyo. It's actually a town here in the central part of eastern Washington. And Tokyo burned down in 1998, never rebuilt. It was a town of like, I want to say like 1,500, 2,000 people. Only one person died in the fire. And then they just never rebuilt. And we were out hunting one morning, watching the horizon, sun's coming up, and I see the grain silos out of Tokyo. And I just thought, Tokyo Sunrise, what an amazing title for a song or an album. And so those 2 albums I intend to sing on. And those are much lighter albums. If you are familiar with the solo work of Justin Sullivan, who's best known as the lead singer of New Model Army, particularly his solo work called Navigating by the Stars, that's the type of music that it is. It's kind of a light rock, almost a pop sensibility in some ways. So I am working on that. And I did some test recordings just last week, actually on a cover of Wicked Game that I've been working on for years. And I was like, oh, this is getting to where I want it. So there is a reasonable possibility that you're going to hear some singing from me in the near future. Very likely my 69th album, which is going to be titled Pink. There's one song on there that I hope to sing on. It will probably be my first recording. That song is called Tortured by Beads. It's definitely going to be a spoken word thing, so there will be vocals on it, and I probably will sing. And the first thing I'm going to sing on one of my albums, if that's where I do it, will be about oysters. So there's a little whistle wetter for you. In that vein, I have the only cover tune that I currently do is coming up in this show. It's on this album. It's my heavy metal version of Three Blind Mice. And I love my version of Three Blind Mice. It's freaking awesome. So I got this heavy metal version of Three Blind Mice, but I have had a few requests for covers. So just over the last couple weeks, I've been setting up a possible cover tune set. And I've started setting up, the Wicked Game will be on there that I mentioned. I've got kind of this creepy piano / metal version of Wicked Game. Tornado Souls, the most commonly requested song that I've ever had. I've got that set up. I'm starting to set up Crazy Train, and I'm looking at a few others to set up for a potential occasional cover tune set, and I hope to sing on those as well. So time will tell. I'm making no promises about my vocals. I have, about 5 years ago, I figured some things out about my voice that really helped me get to be able to sing on key. I've never had a good ear for being in key. I've had a lot of struggles with that. And I've been to probably 7 or 8 different vocal teachers. I've taken video courses, audio courses. I've read books. I've watched YouTube tutorials. And I mean, I've been all over the place with it. And it's all, the thing that I've figured out, if I'm right, I have never read, heard, or seen from anyone else anywhere. No one has ever described what I do this way. But there's a very weird emotional part of it is being a bad singer for 5 decades. It's hard, I'll do a recording and I'll listen to it and be like, that's really good. And 5 minutes later, I'm like, was that actually good? And so it's kind of a weird place to be, but it's been cool. And if it does work out, I think that some vocal albums will definitely be in order because I would like to be singing on this kind of stuff. And we'll see. We'll see. I've got some ideas. Going to slow it down here a bit. And this song in particular, what did I just do? What kind of a rascal am I here? I hit the wrong button, so I was trying to do so. There we go. And Just need to get things aligned here. So this song, I was doing a stream. This is all computer generated. Joke's on us. Awesome. So I was doing a stream about 3 years ago. It was before this album got done. Well, no, probably 2 years ago. I was in the works on this album at the time. And this gal, Sarah Jazz, stopped into my stream on Twitch, and I just happened to be fiddling around with my saxophone at the time. And she's like, oh, I was hoping that you were a saxophone player. I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. On my next album, I'm going to put a song in with saxophone instead of guitar for the lead instrument. And this next song that we're going to play is that song. It's called Unknown Acquaintances and Lonely Strangers, though you may notice that I'm not going to actually grab my saxophone. And I did record this as a song with a saxophone, and I really liked it. It sounded good. But when I would listen to it in context with the rest of the album, it was terrible. It was so far away from fitting as part of this album. It was like going from Slayer to Kenny G, and it just didn't work. Reluctant Hermit to Unknown Acquaintances and Lonely Strangers did not work. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? Let me just try this with a guitar, and I put the album in. I'm like, that's it. I've got to do this on guitar. It was just, not that like I said, when I played the song on its own, it worked great with the saxophone. In context, absolute garbage. But one thing that's kind of cool is this this main riff that we hear was actually composed on a saxophone. So my motif was written on a saxophone, and I just really liked the way this came out. And now when I was doing context, in fact, when I go on my run after this show, this is going to be in my ears because I've been talking about it now. I totally want to hear all this music when I'm running. So it's been very cool. And we're going to do this. We're slowing it down here. Inspired by Sarah Gillett, known as Sarah Jazz. This is Unknown Acquaintances and Lonely Strangers. Just reading that again where Pruitt said this is actually computer generated. It just made me think, every time I'm on the internet and it'll click that little thing that says, I am not a robot. And you click the little box. And I think, I'd kind of like to be though. I think it'd be cool to be a robot. So this next song, it's like my second or third stream, I think. And this person named Sonny McE came in, username Sonny McE. I was chatting a little bit, and I said, what's up, Sonny McE? And they said, just waiting for time. And I said, that is an awesome name for a song title. And it was funny because I didn't realize it at the time, but I actually have this as a lyric in my album, The Death Sonnets. This has not been released. This is a power metal album that I would like to release with vocals. And this one, even if I sing on it, I will still need to find other singers because I need female singers for that album. Two albums that, if I had bucket list albums, it would be The Death Sonnets and The Villain. The Death Sonnets is basically a story of gladiatorial slaves trying to achieve their freedom, male and female. And then The Villain is the story of Jack the Ripper's great-granddaughter continuing his legacy. That one is brutal. That will just be one song, and it'll be well over an hour long. It's going to be freaking cool. Those are albums that I've just worked on for a very long time. But on the album, The Death Sonnets, there is a song where I use the lyric, Waiting for Time. My friend Deirdre and I demoed that out. It really came out well. I didn't even realize it. I was like, this is so witty, this Waiting for Time. And I already totally used it. But now it's a song title as well. And unfortunately, I totally lost track of Sonny McE. They are no longer on Twitch, at least under that name. And so I don't know if they've ever heard this. I don't know anything about them, who they are, or anything. But if you happen to be out there, the Twitch viewer formerly known as Sonny McE, this song title was inspired by you. This is Waiting for Time. gotta check something now. That did not start over. I got a thing here saying that the stream started over on Twitch, and so I'm curious about where else it may have. Because I don't have great internet over here, so sometimes this does happen, but I kind of like to check on it and know what's happening. Oh, let's see what we got here. Okay, looks like Kick did not start over. So that's, to me, that's kind of the important one right now, because that's the one where most things are working for me. So, okay, digging it. I'm good. Not ever terribly concerned about Twitch these days. I feel like they brought that on themselves. Technically, I'm not supposed to be streaming on Twitch at all right now. They, as of the 1st of July, they have a new policy against multi-streaming for everyone. It used to only be for affiliate and partners could not multi-stream. And I've always multi-streamed, and I like multi. I'm going to 15 platforms, and I'm just like, I'm not going to stop doing it. So a lot of people think that they're not going to enforce it. If they start to enforce it, then I'm going to stop streaming on Twitch, because I'm not going to give up 14 other platforms for their one, where I have fewer viewers than on a lot of my other platforms. I mean, some of my platforms are completely empty. I don't think I probably have anybody watching on Vaughn TV or Africa, but you know, there may be, and there you go. And it's not that I don't appreciate my viewers on Twitch. I absolutely do, but I'm just not going to give up 14 platforms for one. But it looks like we're in good shape. That's what I'm saying here. Looks like we're in good shape with things and stuff and junk. We've got one song left on this album. And this is what I was talking about earlier. This is my one cover tune that I've published on an album. I have done other cover tunes. I've done a cover of Paint It Black, which you can find on Audiology.net. I've done a cover of While My Guitar Gently Weeps by the Beatles, which you can find on my SoundCloud, also under Audologist, not Mad Poet. But I'm never putting them on an album. And this one, really like the way this came out. One of the reasons I chose this one is for purposes of copyright. This song, being composed back in 1609, is in the public domain everywhere in the world. So no one gets to whine about me doing this. I hope you enjoy it. This is Heavy Metal Variations of Three Blind Mice. Sorry, I got, whoa, way thrown off on that. So apologies. Let me get this back in place here. Okay, let's try this one more time, shall we, kids? Maybe? Viva la nice. Totally love that. Okay, let's do the switch over here. I'm excited about this next one because it's been so very long since I've played it. And I think it's gonna be awesome. As Memories from YouTube very adroitly figured out, this is a reference to the 1947 Roswell, New Mexico alien landing, giving us true proof of the existence of aliens. And I hope that you hear the sarcasm in my voice, because we do not have proof of aliens. I think it's very likely that there are other life forms out in the universe, just knowing what I do about statistics. But I don't think that they're buzzing us. Okay, let's get the sheet music up here. All right, I think I am ready on this. And this first song on this album is titled Alien Urine Sample. I just be screwing everything up today. I see what I did wrong. Okay. Thought it sounded, when I started hitting the solo, I was like, I'm definitely not hearing my guitar. Let me see if I can get things in order. Thank you for your patience, everybody. I am clearly not ready to do this album. And I'm also noticing that I need to change one other thing on here. Sometimes you just don't notice this stuff until you start playing. Okay. Let's see if this works a little better. I want to try this again. Alien urine sample. This is an interesting album for me because it seems like every time I've ever done this, there has been some kind of a weird tech thing that's happened, or more than one. And my sheet music is acting odd right now. And I don't know why. It's all legible. I can read it. And my cameras are wonky. You guys are looking at my left hip. That's not what we're looking for there. Let's make a note of that to check the camera. Oh, you know what? Who's gonna? Ooh. Okay, I need to make a couple of corrections here. And I just realized there is something I did not prep for this that's going to screw stuff up if I don't fix it right now. Sorry if you lost my vocal there for a moment. I got to make a couple of repairs here. Basically what's going on is it's been so long since I've done this particular album that things have changed and I have to get it to work for the current system. And I forgot a few things while I was doing it last night. And we're just about set. I gotta wait for those things to run themselves down. Make sure I'm on the right song. This, little of that. Okay. That should be, okay, yep, we're muted, we're good. Let me save that. Whew. Let's see if I got all this stuff right now. As one of the things, doing a show that's just extremely complex like this, it's really, really easy to miss stuff. Particularly, like I said, this album, I haven't done a performance of this album in, it's at least a year and a half. It's been quite a long time. And so, yeah, a lot of things have changed about how my production actually works. And there's just so many moving parts, it's real easy to miss. So there we go. All right. See if I can do. Let's see if I can keep this one going. I do still plan on doing another show tonight, so it's going to be an interesting evening. But yeah, this album is like, I feel like every time I've ever done this one live, there has been some sort of a tech thing going on. Let's see just how bad we can screw everything up today. This next song is called Withering Regression. Maybe. Oh, I bet I need to hit that one more time. Need to make another note on this album. All right. Finding a few little things here and there, but we're having a good time with it. It's fun for the kids. All right, let's keep this thing going. Along with our Roswell alien theme, this piece is called The Secret to the Secret. Don't know if I dare say this, but I feel like I may have partially gotten myself on track here. Just kind of checking a few things and stuff and junk. All right. Okay, we are in good shape with stuff. Cool. Okay. Whew. See if I can keep this whole thing happening here. Next piece is called And No One Noticed. Okay, that was weird. Not sure why my lights popped on and right back off. Let's take a quick look at what's going on here. Okay, that seems awkward. Definitely got something wrong here. What's the story, Morning Glory? And I got a bad camera again. Okay. I should not have said that, oh, did I? Okay. Oh, another note. I will definitely be wanting to do this album again in the near future to see if I got all these worked out. All right. I'm not sure how this is going to work. May have to start and stop this one to see what happens with it. This is okay. We're just going to jump straight in here. I'm not sure if this song is going to start correctly, so I may have to fiddle faddle. We'll see what goes down with that. This is called Dangerous Beauty. Maybe. If I can even get it to start. I think I'm going to need to... Let's try this. This is not good. This is... Okie doke. This is weird. I don't know why this won't start. I'm going to try this slightly different here. Yeah, I've got my cameras all messed up on this one. Black Sheep Brooks, welcome to the Mad Poet Society. Thank you very much for the follow on Kick.com. Greatly appreciated. Thanks for being here. I hope you're enjoying the show. For those who may be new, maybe coming in late, don't know what's going on here, I am the Mad Poet. You are an audience. We are the Mad Poet Society, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. We got DJ Wariat also. Welcome to the Mad Poet Society. Thank you very much for following. I'm totally loving this kick thing. And I just want to check now because we are awfully close to 100 followers. What are we at here? Oh! DJ Wariat, you are my 100th follower. Awesome. Very cool. Totally digging it. 100 followers. I think that took over 2 years on Twitch. I've only been here for like 4 or 5 weeks. Hi, thank you. Thanks for being here. Hope you are enjoying the show. This is a pretty good representation of the kind of music that I do. Last song's a little bit slow. This next one starts a little on the slow side. Big John's Guitars. Hey, thanks very much for coming in, Big John's. You've been a follower for a while. Does that space serve as a recital space for students as well? Actually, all of my students these days are online, and that is not, for me, a result of the pandemic. Shortly before the pandemic hit, Sarah and I moved out to Eastern Washington. We had been in Western Washington, and I was doing both online and in person. But we're in a little teeny town here. It's like this, this town would no way there would be a reasonable amount of students to sustain a business. So I just went fully online. So even if someone in town does want lessons, it's still online. And it's been great. This is, just my office. So I teach from here. And every once in a while, I will finish a show and 5 minutes later I'm teaching. So the lights are still on and the smoke in here and everything. And that's what my students all know that I do this. And they stop in occasionally. In fact, Susan was watching from YouTube earlier. So some of my students these days I've never actually met in person, just face-to-face online. And it works great. I really enjoy teaching online because I've got so many resources for guitar stuff and music stuff in my computer that it's just like, oh, we need to work on counterpoint. Cool, let me pull up my counterpoint stuff. So it's pretty cool. And then, they can use a sheet music program. I can use a sheet music program, screen sharing and all that. I can send PDFs with email. It's a much neater setup. So, stream is excellent proof in the pudding. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And Big John's Guitars gave me a raid the other day, and that helped push me over the 75 mark. And as I pointed out, we just passed the 100 follower. We just hit the 100 followers mark with DJ Wariat. So let's continue on here. So this next piece is called Rising Conflict. And I kind of set it up to start out nice and slow. And then toward the middle, it just gets raging. It slows back down at the end. And this one was kind of cool. I've got a student named Finn, and he's my second longest term student of all time. Susan, who I mentioned a moment ago, is my longest term student of all time. And I was actually working on one of his guitars at the time, so he didn't know it, but his parents did, that I actually recorded this song on his guitar. And there's a video of it. For my second album to my 50th, I recorded all of the lead guitars and filmed while I was recording. So there's videos of that. So he thought it was really cool that I was using his guitar in my video. So hat tip to my man Finn. This song is called Rising Conflict. And Big John's Guitar says I publish demos of customers' guitars when they're done all the time. Always a fun variety play. That yeah, if you're like a luthier or guitar teacher, if you're particularly in-person guitar teacher, you end up just getting all kinds of guitars you're playing on. ATP Joico 13. Thank you very much for coming in on Live Space. Great to see you. It's going great. It's been a little bit of a techie weirdness kind of a day. But yeah, it's been fun, and my my camera. You guys are looking at my left hip again. That's not what we're looking for. So, and Big John's Guitars for Kick says he's got to is rearranging the workroom. Got to get back. Thanks very much for stopping. It's always great to see you. Nothing but good times here. Oh, but yeah, it's been. Yeah, your keyboard isn't typing correctly. So keyboards will do that to you. No, so what's going on here, this album that I'm playing right now is called Roswell. It's my 47th album. And because of some difficulties I've got with certain synths I used to use, some of my albums have kind of been sitting back. I've been wanting to play this for a long time, but I haven't played it for like a year and a half. And so last night I went in, I got everything arranged. Well, I thought I got everything arranged, but as you know, my shows are kind of on the complex side. So I missed a few things, totally my own fault. And what I should have done was brought everything up and done a full playthrough and watched how everything was working, with smoke and lights and everything. I got close. Not bad considering how much has changed in my setup since the last time I actually played this album. But it's been fun. It's been a good one. And as I mentioned earlier, we're kind of moving toward the end of the show right now. After this gets done, I'm going to eat. I'm going to go for a run. And then I'm going to come back, clean up, and do another show tonight. Because I just feel like it's two-show kind of a day. I got nothing else going on. So we got 3 songs left here on this particular album for this show, and then I'm going to be back later on in the evening doing it again. We're going to slow it down here. This piece is called Nothing But a Distant Memory. Jacob13 says, been away at Legoland, had a lot of fun. Yeah, very cool, very cool. And we got a new follower on Kick.com, 2 new followers. DJ Renoa and Astoradad. I'm not sure if I'm saying your usernames correctly. It's very easy to get those wrong. But thank you so much for the follows. Up to, I think, puts us at 102 followers. I'm so stoked about Kick.com. Totally been loving it. If any of my subscribers happen to be on Kick.com, feel free to check out the new subscriber-only emotes that are now available. We got 2 songs left here for the day's show. Well, for this show of the day, I am absolutely planning to do another show tonight. I'm going to finish up here, and then I'm going to go out for a run, and I'm going to eat, and then I'm just going to load up 2 more albums and do another show, because why not? Might as well keep on rocking. This song, we're going to pick the pace back up here. We're kind of done with the slow stuff for this show. This one's a pretty high energy piece. This is dedicated to my friend Danny. Danny used to have this awesome guitar store out in Everett, Washington, near where I lived. I actually helped him move from one location to the other. Just a super cool guy. Always enjoyed hanging out with him. He was an excellent guitar player and just always had all these great stories. And his store, basically, while it was active, he had become the guy that, like, when REM would come to town, they would rent guitars from him. You know, like, you know, the guys Pearl Jam would use his guitars. He actually got to play with Ann Wilson of Heart once. I went to it. It was an amazing show. And just an awesome dude. So this song is going out to him. This is an F Phrygian for those who want to play along, for our music theory geeks out there. Picking up the pace. This is Binary Secrets. right, this next song has got kind of a cool story to it. When I do my compositions for all of my albums, I start out with sheet music, which is not a real common way to write heavy metal. Most people start on the guitar, which is totally valid. But I always start with sheet music. I write out my drums first, then typically bass and guitar, and then any other additional synths or orchestration, pianos, harpsichords, string sections, brass sections, whatever. Vanity Fern. Welcome to the Mad Poet Society. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you being here with us on Kick.com. Oh man, I'm just totally loving the growth I'm getting on Kick. It's been freaking awesome. And the community's been really good. I had to ban a couple people when I first got started for a couple of incendiary comments, but ever since then, everyone's just been totally awesome. And I've had just all these great people coming in, and I've been getting raids. I need to learn how to raid. I need to start raiding out and helping the community out because I totally want to do that. So I may try to do that at the end of the show. I'm going to do another show later tonight, so I may do it at the end of that one, look into it a little in between. But anyway, so back to this. So I was writing this album, and I'd always thought it would be cool to just turn my audio off and write just on the sheet music. Because in these digital programs, so basically when I compose, I'm on sheet music program, like this. And so this is the song that's coming up here. And so I started to get this idea on this one, and I got done with the drums, and I just kept going. I started putting in the bass, the guitars, the synths, and I realized I had written this entire song without ever listening to any of the playback. And so it's cool that you can put your song in, you listen to it, oh, is that the chord I want? And this one I did the entire thing with none of that. And I just wrote the whole thing out, and it came out just exactly how I wanted. So afterward I'm like, this is cool. So I turned all the sounds on, and I'm like, yeah, awesome. So it was a very, very cool experience for me. This is the last song of the first show of the day. I am planning to do another show later today. I'm going to go for a run in between here. And you know, this album is called Roswell. It's my 47th album because of the 1947 Roswell, New Mexico alien landing. I love alien stuff. It's freaking awesome. I was out, I live in Eastern Washington, and last summer I was out driving around, and I went past NUFORC. It's NUFORC, the National UFO Reporting Center, is out here in Eastern Washington. It's in an old missile silo. I went by and I'm like, is this for real? This is so cool. I don't take the stuff seriously like some people do, but I think that aliens are awesome. And I think it'd be great to find out that I had been switched at birth and I am in fact an alien. That would make me extremely happy. But the thing about aliens, you got to understand, everyone knows about Hangar 18. Everyone knows about Area 51. That's why I want to know what's going on in Area 52. All right, gang, that is it for this show. This was a blast, despite some interesting technical hiccups, which is not unexpected since I haven't done this album in so very long. But I had a great time doing it. And yeah, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna go for a run. I'm gonna run like probably 5 miles. I'm gonna clean up, probably eat some more. I'm gonna do another show. I don't know what albums I'm gonna play. I'm just gonna pick out 2 albums and we'll hit it. So I hope some of you or all of you will come back. Bring your friends, bring your enemies, bring some strangers, bring acquaintances, whatever have you. Until then,